Hi, NR here. Let us go through synopsis of second chapter, electrostatic potential and capacitors. In this session, let us go through the topics that are there in NCERT syllabus. And in the second part, let us go through combination of capacitors. Electric potential. Electric potential due to a point charge. Let this be a point charge Q. So potential at this point P at a distance R. So by definition, electric potential is work done to bring unit charge from infinity to this point. Work done per unit charge, isn't it? So work done charge, usually test charge is denoted by Q naught. So SI unit is joule per coulomb or volt. And electric potential, expression for electric potential at a point due to point charge is constant this charge by distance. And what is this constant? Constant in the case of electrostatics 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. So this is the expression for electric potential at this point due to this charge. So this expression is true only for this case, okay? And potential is inversely proportional to distance. So V is inversely proportional to distance. Looking at the condition, we have to decide this, okay? We should not simply say potential is inversely proportional to distance. It should always be potential at a point due to point charge is inversely proportional to distance. Now, due to point charge at some point P at a distance R, let this charge be Q, okay? Potential at this point is constant Q by R and electric field at this point is constant Q by R square. So a graph of electric field and potential versus distance, okay? Since electric field is inversely proportional to square of the distance, it falls sharply like this. Whereas electric potential as a function of distance, potential is inversely proportional to distance. So it goes like this. So this is 1 by R. The one which falls more sharply is 1 by R square. That's because R square, okay? Equipotential surfaces. Equipotential means potential should be same at every point. So because of point charge, equipotential surface is a sphere. If potential at every point on the sphere is 4 volt, then potential at every point on this sphere will be less than 4 volt. Let this be 2.5 volt. So due to point charge, equipotential surfaces are concentric spheres. Okay? And no two equipotential surfaces intersect. If this is an equipotential surface, this is another equipotential surface, they intersect means at this point there cannot be two potentials, means intersection is not allowed. Suppose this is 4 volt, this is also 4 volt, this is also 4 volt, then this point is at 4 volt. If this is 2.5 volt, this is 2.5, this is 2.5, then that point should be 2.5. It is already 4, right? So it cannot be 2.5. So that is why we cannot expect two equipotential surfaces to intersect. So such points are required for conceptual type questions. Now, due to linear charge. Linear charge means charges in a line. If this is line of charge of infinite length, then this is an equipotential surface. Cylinder is an equipotential surface because each and every point on the cylinder is at equidistance from the line of charge. So that is why this cylinder is an equipotential surface. Cylinder. Next. Sheet of charge. If this is a sheet of charge of infinite area. Infinite area means we are trying to neglect or we are trying to avoid irregularities at the edges, nothing but non-uniform electric field. If this is a sheet of charge of very large area, then imagine a plane parallel to this. So this plane is an equipotential surface due to this sheet of charge. You consider another plane parallel to this. This is one more equipotential, and as distance increases, potential decreases. Therefore, potential of this should be less than potential of this. The one which is closer to the charge should be at higher potential. Okay, right. So parallel planes due to sheet of charge, parallel planes. Relation between electric field and electric potential. Electric field is a vector quantity, whereas electric potential is a scalar quantity. So electric field is negative potential gradient, isn't it? We write like this, dV by dx. In vector form, E equal to minus dV by dx into I cap. So when we consider only magnitude, we tend to write like this. Okay. Now, what if the potential depends on three axes? Suppose potential as a function of x comma y comma z. Okay. For multiple choice questions, this is required. So electric field is given by minus square bracket dou v by dou x into I cap, means differentiate potential, expression for potential with respect to x alone. Suppose potential is given by 3xy plus 4yz plus 2xz. See, we have to differentiate this only with respect to x. If you differentiate only with respect to x means this becomes 3y. Then there is no x term, plus 0. 2z plus 2z. When we differentiate this with respect to only x, we get this. That is the meaning of dou v by dou x. I am telling you this is required for MCQ. Plus, now we have to differentiate this with respect to y. Dou v by dou y. Unit vector along y axis is j cap. Then dou v by dou z. This is k cap. Using this expression, we should solve when potential is given in terms of x, y and z. Okay. Potential at a point due to an electric dipole. If this is an electric dipole, some point P at a distance r from the center. This is minus q plus q. Distance between these two charges is 2a. Direction of electric dipole moment is from minus q to plus q along the line joining the charges. So this is the direction of dipole moment, p cap. This is p cap. This is unit vector, r cap. Angle between dipole moment and position vector is theta. Distance of p from q. This is r1. Distance of p from minus q. So this is r2. So potential at p due to these two charges. Since potential is a scalar quantity, net potential equal to potential due to positive charge plus potential due to negative charge. And potential is constant q by r1 minus constant q by r2 equal to constant q 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Okay. So this is the general expression. Now, if R is very much greater than 2A, then electric potential is given by constant P cos theta by R square. Constant P cos theta by R square, or V equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught P cos theta by R square. And what is theta here? Theta is angle between P cap and R cap. Okay. Now, special cases. This is the dipole. Minus q plus q. Equatorial plane. If point P is here, then angle between position vector and dipole moment vector. Angle between these two is 90. Cos 90 is 0. So potential equal to 0. Meaning potential due to negative charge is equal to potential due to positive charge. Potential due to negative charge 20 volt minus 20. Potential due to positive charge plus 20. So resultant equal to 0. So that is potential at any point on the equatorial plane is 0. Next, this is the dipole plus q minus q, center of the dipole. This is axis of the dipole. If point P is somewhere here, P, then angle made by position vector. So this is position vector r cap, and this is dipole moment P. So angle between these two is 0. So theta equal to 0 degree. Cos 0 is 1. Therefore potential is given by constant, this is 1, it is P by R square. Potential at any point on the equatorial plane is 0, but potential at any point on the axis is constant P by R square. Observe one thing, here potential is inversely proportional to square of the distance, because the condition is different, isn't it? This is potential due to a dipole. Previous case, potential due to a point charge. So this relation is also important. V inversely proportional to R square for a dipole. Why there is positive charge means, this positive sign says the influence of positive charge at this point is more than the influence of negative charge. Suppose point P is here on this side, then we get potential as V equal to minus constant Q by R square. Why negative sign? Means the influence of negative charge is more because distance of the negative charge is less and influence of positive charge is less. So net influence is greater for this negative charge. Therefore negative potential. Okay. So potential at any point on the axis means you can have both plus or minus. But potential on the equatorial plane is always 0. That is this. Potential energy due to system of charges. First case, due to point charge. Go through the condition, the diagram and the equation. All the three are important. Okay. Due to point charge. If this is a point charge, what is potential energy at any point means potential energy is not defined for a point charge. So potential energy is not defined. Second, potential energy due to two charges. Two-point charges. This is Q1. This is Q2. Distance between these two is R. Then expression for potential energy is constant Q1 Q2 by R. So potential energy depends on distance. Potential energy is proportional to product of the charges Q1 Q2 by R. Okay. Recall the expression for potential. Potential is constant Q by R. Potential energy is constant Q1 Q2 by R. Okay. Third, potential energy due to 3-point charges. Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3. Distance between Q1 Q2 be R12. Don't get confused with the notation. Okay, it says distance between Q1 and Q2. Distance between Q1 Q3 R13. Between these two R23. So potential energy equal to potential energy due to these two charges according to this expression. Potential energy due to these two. Potential energy due to these two. There are 3 sets and potential energy is a scalar quantity. Therefore simply add. When you add, take the common factor. So constant is the common factor. Remaining is Q1 Q2. Distance between these two is R12 plus Q2 Q3 R2 3 plus Q1 Q3 R1 3. So this is the expression for potential energy of 3-point charges. Suppose if the point charges are at the vertices of a triangle, equilateral triangle, and charges are identical, Q, 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 distance between them is R. Okay, distances are equal. Then potential energy is given by constant Q1 Q2 Q Q Q Q Q Q Q and Q. There are 3 times. Therefore 3 Q Q by R square. This turns out to be constant 3 Q square by R. Potential energy R. Therefore 3 Q square by R. This is true only for isosceles triangle with 3 identical charges at the vertices. This is true for any 3 point charges. Okay. Point charge in Q, point charge in E, electric field. This is electric field E, external electric field. And here is point charge Q. Potential at this point due to this electric field, external electric field, is V. And this V changes with respect to distance. So V as a function of distance, VR. So what is the electric potential energy of this point charge means? Potential energy is charge, magnitude of charge, into VR, V of R. So charge into potential is potential energy. Charge into potential is potential energy. Okay. Now there is only one charge, but still this charge has potential energy due to this electric field. In this list, first case, it was only due to single charge. For single charge, potential energy is not defined. Two point charges in electric field. This is uniform electric field or some electric field. Here is charge Q1, charge Q2. Distance between these two is R. This Q1 is at that point where the potential is V1 and potential at this point be V2. Now observe, charge at some potential means potential energy is Q into V. This charge is at this potential. Therefore, potential energy equal to charge into potential Q1 V1 plus potential energy due to this system. Q2 is at potential V2. So Q2 at V2 plus. Now forget electric field. Okay. Don't worry about electric field. Neglect it. There are two charges. Potential energy due to two charges means it is constant Q1, Q2 by distance between the charges R. Potential due to V1, potential energy due to V1. This potential energy due to V2, second term. Neglect or forget electric field. Because of the presence of two charges, potential energy is constant Q1, Q2 by R. So sum of these three is the total potential energy.